Magandang umaga. Can I just introduce you to a beautiful magic? It's not magic, it's not black magic, it's just called gospel magic. And this is actually a true story from a Filipino who was in prison in Saudi because he owned a Bible. And of course, they didn't enjoy that because this is a Muslim country, so they put him to jail. And in jail, this Filipino was praying, what can I do with a piece of paper to show that God is really living? So what he did is, he was praying and then he was folding this piece of paper. And I will show you what will happen now. And he started his story. I will only change the story for Siemens' situation, right? So let's imagine that this corner is the corner when you're born. When you're born, life is very easy. You don't have to worry about anything, right? Because when you're a baby, your parents will care for you. They give you food. They give you something to drink, maybe milk. But you don't stay as a baby. You grow up as a child. You go to school. You go to high school. Maybe in high school, some few problems start. Because you want to have good grades for future career, is that correct? And then in the middle of the life, you're a seafarer. When you're a seafarer, life changes dramatically. Because first time in your life, you're far away from home. You feel the loneliness. You feel the difficulty. You meet different cultures. You work hard. You not only work 5 days a week, like many Europeans or Americans, but you work 7 days a week. Monday is the same like Sunday. Is that correct? So you will really feel, oh, it's a very difficult life to be a seafarer. So this is why we call the life of a seafarer sometimes living in the float of a prison. You're sailing to many countries, but it's very hard. You miss your family. You work hard. And even if you're a little bit sick, you cannot go home. You still continue your job. If somebody at home is sick, you cannot go home. You continue your job until your 6 or 9 months contract is finished. Is that correct? Having said that, there's also a beautiful side of the seafarer. One side is the hard side, difficult side, sometimes the negative side. But on the other side, living like a seafarer is also beautiful. What is beautiful about it? Well, first of all, you see the world for free. Secondly, you have a good salary. Compared to your kababayan in the Philippines, your salary is very high. So you can support your family very nicely. What happens when the salary is coming on your account? Can I tell you what happened with me when I was working in the shipping agency? Some dreams started. Because money always creates dreams. When you have $1,000, $2,000, maybe you wonder, what can I do with this money? Maybe you want to buy a motorcycle, or maybe you want to buy a new smartphone. But the biggest dream of all Filipino is this one. We want to buy, can you see? We want to buy a house. And you're very lucky if you live in the Philippines, because a house in the Philippines is very, very cheap. Compared to Europe, I could not afford a single house in Hamburg because it's too expensive. And this is why I only bought half a house. You see? On the right side was a neighbor, on the left side was a neighbor. This was my house. Maybe you call that duplex in Philippines or raw house, I don't know what you call that. But it's at least a house. And some of you, when they have bought a house, they feel very satisfied, very happy. But they continue and they work more and they want to achieve more goals. They want to buy more things. Maybe a second house, maybe a car. But what happens is after 6 or 9 months, your contract will be finished. And how will you go home? You don't go home by ship, you go home by your plane. You go home with Emirates or Lufthansa, British Airways, whatever airline. When you're home, everybody seems to be very, very happy. But then after 2-3 months vacation, again, we join the ship. So the same routine continues. After 9 months again, go home, take vacation, and that continues year after year. So it's a very, very difficult life. But you know what some people do not think about? They never think about what would happen if the ship sinks, if the plane crashes, if I have a heart attack and have to die, if I have cancer and have to die. What happens after I die? This is a question that many people never think about. Can I just show you what happens when our life finishes? I will just cut this one here. And this is actually what is happening. When we die, we can take nothing with us. Oh, look at this. I don't like this. Our life is destroyed. But the question is, what happens after we die? Is our life only destroyed, or will our life continue? Now, please have a careful look, my dear friends. After we die, we will all stand before Jesus Christ. Isn't that amazing? He will ask us the question, Kai Bigan, my friend, did you follow me, or did you follow yourself? Jesus sacrificed his life on this cross. He sacrificed 30 years away from his Father in heaven. You sacrifice 6 to 9 months, or sometimes even 12 months, away from your family. And Jesus sacrificed much more, much longer. And this is why he can understand you. He knows you. And he wants to save you. He wants to save you. And he wants to forgive your kasalana. He wants to forgive your sin. He wants to give you new life. This is why Jesus said, if you come to me, I will give you life. Because he is the creator of life. He knows how to give life. I don't know how to give life. I'm only a human being. But God knows. This is why Jesus said, come to me all of you who are weary and burdened. I will give you rest. Jesus said, I am the way, the truth, and the life. Nobody comes to God except by me. So he wants to save you. He wants to guide you into heaven. He is called the Savior. I'm not talking about religion, dear friends, right? I don't like to talk about religion. There are so many religions, we get confused. But I want to talk about a person, the Savior who created this world, who created you and me, and who wants to live in our life. So when we come to him and we say, Jesus, please come to my heart, take away my sin, he will become our Savior. Now, we have a free choice. Jesus will never force you, right? He will never grab you and say, you must. No. But with every decision in life, there's also a consequence. So the consequence to follow Jesus Christ is that he will take us to heaven. But there's another consequence. If we do not serve Jesus Christ, we are free to say no to Jesus, but there will be a consequence. I will just put this one here. See? This is the consequence. Can you read that here, Chief?
Yes, I can.
Heal.
And this is what God is talking about in the Holy Bible, about heaven and hell. So we can choose, actually, between heaven and hell. We can choose the Savior Jesus Christ. He will bring us to heaven. We can also choose to not follow Jesus Christ. We are free. But then the consequence is we will not live with him, but we will live apart from him. And I want to encourage you to come to Jesus Christ, because he is a wonderful Savior. He's a wonderful God. He will have compassion. Thank you very much for listening so patiently. Thank you very much, and I hope that God will continue to bless your life in a mighty way. Thank you.
Thank you,
Bye-bye.
sir.